Good afternoon all. So this is the first part of the Rudiments of Music Lesson for keyboards that I am going to share with you. So you can see that I have a white paper or a bunch of papers with me. The reason that I am willing to show this way is that I want you to understand the main thing. Because I had pamphlets and notes of this. I could have just shown that to you and explained that, but I wanted to write and show it to you so that you can understand it better. So let me begin. So first thing is, it is Rudiments of Music. So first of all, in order to begin with from zero, in music, these musical sounds we talk about, we have different sounds, right? So these musical sounds are expressed by characters, and these are called notes. Okay, so you get a term here, notes. So musical sounds, we have in music, we have different sounds, right? So these musical sounds, we are expressing it in terms of notes. Okay, so musical sounds are expressed by characters called notes. Okay, now when I talk about these notes, I have to symbolize the notes. That's the main important thing, because when I talk about notes, I just cannot talk about any notes. I have to symbolize them. So symbolizing the notes is an important thing. So these notes, they in turn are named after the 7 letters of alphabets. And what are these? Those are A, B, C, D, E, F and G. Okay, so musical sounds, we are expressing it by characters called notes, and these notes are, we are symbolizing it as A, B, C, D, E, F and G. Okay, so I hope it is clear up till now. Next is, in Western notation, we have something you have noticed, series of lines. Let me draw it with a scale. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Right, so 5. These are quite bent, it will be straight, but I hope that you are getting the idea of this. So these are 5 lines. So these different notes of this music, these are different notes. Okay, so A, B, C, D, E, F and G, these different notes of music are written or represented in these 5 lines. So this complete thing is called a stave. This complete thing is called, now a stave comprises of lines and spaces. So what are the lines? Check this out carefully. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These are the 5 lines of a stave, and spaces are 1, 2, 3 and 4. These 4 are spaces. So a stave comprises of 5 lines and 4 spaces, and those are counted upwards. This is a general rule, okay, of this whole grammar that I am talking about. This is a general rule. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lines and 4 spaces. So this is a stave. This is a representation of a complete stave. We have 5 lines and 4 spaces. So now we have these notes, musical notes. So we have to place these notes on the staves. So that, I mean, what notes we place on a stave, that depends upon an important parameter which is called clef. So another term you are getting. Okay, so you get stave, you get clef. So I am repeating once again, the notes which I am written over here, these notes, there is a certain rule. Like, we cannot just place all the notes here like this. The position of the notes in the stave depends upon a thing which is called the clef. Okay, So a clef is always placed at the beginning of a stave. Okay, so clef is always placed at the beginning of a stave, right? So in pianoforte music, I mean, because the main grammar is from piano only, although we are learning keyboards, in pianoforte music there are basically two types of clef. Okay, so one is the treble clef, another is the bass clef. Sure, is it clear? It's going? Okay, so treble clef and the bass clef. So treble clef is for the right hand, right? It's for the right hand. You must be knowing, when anybody is playing keyboards, in a general sense, there are two functions. We play the right hand, we also play the left hand as well. So treble clef right hand and bass clef for the left hand. Now let me show you the treble clef and the bass clef. How is it symbolized? So we are having a stave. Anything and everything we write now in terms of in the language of Western notation, it should be in the, we have to draw the stave. Okay, so we have to write or notate anything in the form of a stave from now on. Okay, so this is a very important thing. So treble clef would be like this. Okay, it's a familiar symbol, I guess. You have noticed this before also in the subjects not related to music only. This is a relevant symbol, I have also noticed. So this is the treble clef. Okay, this is the treble clef. Now the treble clef is also treble clef for the right hand. Treble clef, it is also called the G clef. Now why treble clef is called the G clef, I would explain that in later lessons. A treble clef, notice one thing, is placed on the second line. This is something to be noticed. As you can see, I have started the drawing this whole thing from the second line. If we count, as I told you just before, in terms of when it comes to a stave, we count from upwards, like 1 2 3 4 5, just like what I've shown you here. Okay, so 1 2, so treble clef is always placed upon the second line. I'm starting the drawing of this from the second line. So a treble clef is placed on the second line. So just keep that in mind, and let me show you the bass clef. Okay, so bass clef is placed upon the fourth line. So 1 2 3 4, fourth line. We draw a circle just like this. That's it. Draw two dots. This is the bass clef. Okay. So treble clef, bass clef. Bass clef is called the F clef. Why is it called the F clef? I will explain that later. But what you learnt is that treble clef, there are two types of clef. Treble clef, one is the bass clef. So treble clef, I have shown you the symbol. This is the symbol of the treble clef. Bass clef, this is the symbol of the bass clef. Okay, now depending upon this treble clef and the bass clef, these notes are determined in the stave. What notes will be there henceforth, which I will discuss in the next lessons. You get the reasons for why this is there and why is it not there. Everything is there. I would share with you slowly. And the last thing I would share in this part is so this is the treble clef for the right hand, and this is the bass clef for the left hand. So together, where I show, let me show this here. If I have to draw 1 2 3 4 5, 1 2 3 4 5. Okay, so you join the two. Join the two. Okay, so 1 2 3 4 5. This is the treble clef for the right hand, and this is the bass clef for the left hand. Okay, so let me draw the same like it is from the second line. So here it goes. Yes, so this is the treble clef and this is the bass clef, right? and together this is called the brace. Okay, so together the whole thing is called the brace. So this is what I've been willing to do till now. I would do the next part in the next lesson. So in a short recap of the same, if I have to say, so first of all, musical sounds. We have different musical sounds. So these musical sounds are expressed by characters, and these characters are called notes. Okay, so we are expressing the different musical sounds by notes. So now the notes, I am representing the different notes which I am representing by alphabets A, B, C, D, E, F and G. These are my notes, okay, with 7 letters of the alphabets. And after that I gave you the conception of the stave, which is a most important part of the Western notation. So a stave mainly comprises of 5 lines and 4 spaces, okay, complete stave. And the notes, these A, B, C, D, E, F, G, the placement of the notes in a stave, that means on the lines or in the spaces, depends upon the clef which is placed at the beginning of the stave. Remember, the clef is always placed at the beginning of the stave. Okay, so this clef in pianoforte music, there are 2 types, treble clef and the bass clef. Treble clef for the right hand, bass clef for the left hand. So the symbolization of the treble clef is here. You can see it is placed upon the 2nd line, bass clef placed upon the 4th line. Okay, treble clef is called the G clef, bass clef is called the F clef. I will share that why is it called so in the next part of the lessons. And lastly, these 2 clefs, these two complete this pattern is written together, and this treble clef and the bass clef in totality, this is called the brace. So I hope you understood till now, and I will see you in the next lesson while I continue this whole journey of rudiments of music. So that's all about it. I will see you in the next lesson. This is John signing off. Learn, play and express. Thank you so much.